ding, ding, ding. Hello, episode 11. How are we all? Hi, boys.
Hello.
Handa.
Just a wee introduction. Kyle's mic's actually working properly for once, so that's good. Despite all the technical difficulties that we've had, we tried to record on Monday. No luck. We were busy the rest of the week because we all have busy work schedules, and then we came to record today on Friday, which is why we're uploading a bit late, and we still had more technical difficulties. However, we think we're on track now, so that's always a good thing.
Just need to be. I'm not fucking doing this again.
Yeah, I've been sitting staring at the same screen for a while. Right then, let's get started. So, today we are going to talk about some transfer news to start off with. We're going to jump to the Premier League to start off with. It's Mudryk, that's how you pronounce it, isn't it?
Yes.
Has moved to Chelsea. After firstly having some interest shown from Arsenal, and it looked like it had been agreed, Chelsea have swooped in and stolen the transfer. I believe the fee was around the same, however, they've offered double what Arsenal were offering in money, I believe. I don't know if you heard that.
Was there not more bonus, like more realistic bonuses as well?
Probably.
I read
And
something.
they've offered him an 8.5-year contract, which is fucking insane.
Oh, I didn't see that bit.
Yeah.
That's like what 2034 or something. 2032, something like that.
Let's be honest, they'll be gone by next season. Nah.
Well, I mean,
Again-
Alan Pardew, it was 2021 by the time he celebrated his 8-year contract anniversary.
Christ. I thought it was 6.
No, he got given 8 years by Mike Ashley, and look how that ended up.
Am I going to do?
Let's hope Mudryk does a bit better.
Yeah, but it kind of resorts back to what Greg was saying. I think it was last week or the week before. Are Chelsea just trying to buy the league?
I mean, I've seen them every time I seem to open Twitter. Chelsea are linked with someone new. I read last night they've been linked for another 30 million odd for Madueke, the winger from PSV.
Says they've agreed a fee.
Christ. Chelsea don't need any more wingers. Do they understand they can only play like 2 at once?
How does financial fair play work then if they're not getting pulled up with us?
It doesn't.
Because of the way they structure the deals, they're not having to pay so much of it this season, so they're getting away with spreading it, but financial fair play's been so watered down it's more worthless than it already was.
Just like Klarna.
Players
I mean,
on Klarna.
You got Mudryk and Klarna.
I feel that's more a Mike Ashley approach than a Chelsea one, to be honest.
Yeah,
Quick one. They signed this Mudryk for 100 million, but they didn't want to spend 100 million on Enzo Fernandez, who was a proven player at the World Cup.
At the World Cup,
Ukrainian.
I saw that.
Still in Scotland's back pocket.
I saw that 20 million of it was going to the Ukrainian soldiers.
I also seen that.
Yeah, so
That's nice.
So now
That is
Chelsea are funding both sides of that war.
Shall we just go through some of these Chelsea players and say it's absolutely ridiculous how many people they've got in those positions?
I took a photo of the team. Obviously, there's probably been some more signings since then, but their squad depth's mental. I took a note of it actually. I forgot about that.
So, if you think of the wing positions, it's ridiculous.
Right, don't you read out their depth?
Yes.
Right, so in goals, Kepa, Mendy, and Bettinelli.
Yeah.
Right back, James and Azpilicueta. So they've got 6 centre backs: Thiago Silva, Fofana, Chabala, Koulibaly, Humphreys, and then I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Is it Badiashile?
Not to mention.
I think it's Badiashile.
Anyway, apologies for the butcher of that pronunciation. Left back, Chilwell, Cruella, and Hall. Centre, in the centre of the park, Mount, Gallagher, how do you pronounce this one? Chuck Webb. I can't do it.
Chuck Wayman.
Yeah,
That was right. Jorginho, Kante, Zakaria, Kovacic, Loftus-Cheek, and Andrew Santos. And then in the attacking positions, Yao Felix, Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech, Aubameyang, Fofana, Broja, Sterling, Mudryk, and Pulisic.
that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous as well because they've been really nice by putting people like Loftus-Cheek and Mount in the midfield bit when they probably play a bit further forward than that.
But what you need to keep in mind is think about the number of players that I just read out there and think about how many are on loan.
2, Zachary and Felix, and that's it.
No, I mean that Chelsea have got out on loan.
They're not all
As
players they've
well.
got access to.
Yeah. So as well, they've got Hudson-Odoi and Lukaku are probably the first team ones that are out on loan.
I think other folk they've got on loan, but I can't think.
The only 2 people they have in on loan are João Felix and Zakaria.
No, I meant out.
But out, I don't think it's as bad as it once was.
No, but I mean in
It's-
comparison to looking at that squad depth, I mean,
Yeah,
Got
I
Malang
just find the
Sarr,
whole thing mental.
Lukaku,
Bakayoko.
Hudson-Odoi, Ampadu, Sarr, Bakayoko, Baba, I never heard of him before. He's a left back. But there's
Like
what?
For about 10 years.
3, 4, 5, 6 players out on loan, and you've got a squad depth of that.
Yeah, but half the players that are on loan probably aren't good enough. Like the fact that Chelsea have been
Lukaku's
able
not
to
good enough.
spend
What?
He's not, to be fair.
I think he is.
the fact they've been able to go out, like Lukaku's different because Lukaku's probably the outlier in the not good enough category. But they wanted rid of Lukaku. It's more the fact that they've been able to go out and spend more than £300 million in a year, and that's fine. Like, that's somehow fine. And it's not. Let's make that clear. It's not fine that they've been able to go out and buy all these players. Yes, they probably will have a clear out in the summer because there's people out of contract. But it's still not fine that they have all these players.
Managed by Graham Potter.
I read they're trying to terminate Bakayoko's contract.
I mean, yeah.
He's shite, so, you know, swings and roundabouts.
I thought Gallagher would have went back out somewhere.
He does play.
Well,
Not very
yeah,
well.
because he likes Gallagher.
Fancy piece.
I like you,
look
son.
at who's
You're starting the
who's
day.
out of contract in the summer. Kante and Jorginho are out of contract in the summer. So
Peter Osgood.
Let's be honest, they're probably going. Jorginho, I think, is definitely going. Kante, I'm not sure, but let's be honest, probably going.
Not so sure about Kante. Jorginho
He's-
probably.
Kante's about 32, 31, sorry. He's getting a bit.
And he's been injured pretty much all season. You know, someone like Barcelona will sign him.
Probably.
Pulisic should probably leave. He's not very good. I don't like him. That's
Is
shite.
Is it also me, though? Does that team not... Like, we've read out the squad depth, but I can't help but think the team isn't that impressive.
It's,
I don't know if
players.
that's just me.
comparing how they've been playing to that squad, like the depth of that, and the players they've got, they should be playing a lot better. But yeah, I don't know.
We've got some good players.
I think he'll need a rebuild, I suppose, as they say. Even though I know they are already started rebuilding in that, but I meant into form it into the way he wants to play.
Yeah.
I think
let's
that's
be honest.
right.
I think their issue is they get carried by a 38-year-old Thiago Silva at the back.
Yeah, with a 30-plus-year-old Kalidou Koulibaly next to him.
But he's been a bit of a
Yeah.
flop and all. He's not done much.
Yeah, the whole team. And yes, Chelsea have injuries. And injuries is probably the reason why they've had to spend ridiculous amounts of money this window as well. Because they've got something like 11 or 12 first-team players injured. But again, that's not an excuse to spend £300 million in a year. There's no excuse for that. No matter how much of it is on Klarna.
Well,
Yeah.
on the other end of the spectrum, you look at Bayern Munich's transfer business and Jan Sommer. Would you say he's a steal at 8.5 million euros with some add-ons, obviously, but initial fee of 8.5?
I
I
would say
mean,
so.
yes. Yes.
I'd agree as well. I mean, it's decent
34
business.
34-year-old who's got about a good 4 years left in him, give or take.
Yeah,
Criminally underrated.
I've always rated him.
Makes your rivals
Yeah.
weaker, take away their keeper.
Well, yeah. Also, like they need after Manuel Neuer's skiing incident, they also needed a keeper this summer. Not summer, this window. Before the summer. And is he younger than Neuer, or are they about the same age?
I think he's slightly younger.
I always thought Neuer was a lot older than he is.
I think he's about
Well, he's
36.
36.
Who's
Neuer
36?
is.
Yeah.
He's been about for ages. He started in like 2008. We were just wee boys.
Jan Sommer's 34, yeah.
So, it's probably going to be the transition from Neuer to Sommer as well.
Is it?
I also see Gladbach have replaced Sommer already by signing another Swiss keeper from Montpellier, but I don't know his name.
Well, there you go then.
Yeah.
Fair. I saw that.
It's a good signing.
Yeah, I'd say so. I saw a thing, there was a debate on Twitter, and it was kind of looking at someone making a point saying that Bayern just buy all the good players in the league. But I mean, I think you
Well,
could
they
say that
do.
about yeah, but I mean, I think you could say that about every league. There's always teams that are going to do that because that's how it works.
Go to the top six
If you
in
look
England.
at but if you look at the top six in England, or even the old firm in Scotland, how many times do they buy players from teams below them? Celtic did it a bit with Kilmarnock. I'm thinking of like Greg Taylor, for example, who was doing really
Malumbu.
well for them, then he bought them. How many times do you see teams like in the top six in England buy players who are doing really well from below compared to buying foreign imports? Because do Bayern buy that many people outside Germany?
Sadio Mane. Gravenberch. Missouri.
So in recent times, yes. But the classic thing that would happen in Germany is that Dortmund would do well for a year, Bayern would look at who was doing well for Dortmund and buy them.
Lewandowski.
Goetze,
Old Tesco.
Hummels.
Yeah,
He went back.
so,
He went back, to be fair. He was like a yo-yo player from Dortmund and Munich.
and then you've got that post on all the football dedicated pages, and it's just a photo of Marco Reus, the only true player, and
The
it's
only
like
true player. Yeah.
a photo of him looking sad, and they've put the colour. They've made it black and white for the rest of the players, and he's just the only one in colour.
Legends come and go, but he will always remain.
Yeah,
Got like
despite the fact he's made 97 appearances for Gladbach. He left Dortmund, went to Gladbach and came back again, and he's the one who's loyal.
Because he's made of fucking jelly.
That is true. He has the proverbial bionic hamstring.
Back to the
Fucking
Prem.
G-string.
See, Eric Ten Hag is keen on signing that Urian Timber. Will it solve Man United's issues?
It will solve Man United's current problem of not being Ajax and turn them into basically being Ajax.
I didn't think that. He's basically just like still got their numbers on his phone and just text them like, "Hey, you up? Fancy coming to Man United?"
Literally.
Wait, followed by, "What are you wearing?"
Get the band back together.
Yeah.
I've never seen him play, so I can't comment on him.
Nah, I mean neither. To be honest, I just thought it was interesting on the Dutch connection.
I thought the defence is quite
He's
good now.
meant to be a really attractive young player for managers to buy.
Is that what you're interested in, Greg?
I mean, I'm taken, so I can't say anything.
I'm not taken, so I don't know.
Greg's got a bit of
He's
temper
yelling-
on there.
He's yelling timber. Yeah, so I thought, I don't know, it might solve my I can't move on.
I don't know
from
how
that.
many
I don't know
problems
what to
Man
say.
United have to solve now.
All of them.
99 problems, but a defender ain't one.
Well, winning games ain't one currently.
Harry Maguire.
Speaking of Man United not winning, it was a draw against Crystal Palace the other evening, 1-1. Put a wee poll up, and the poll was very, very clear in its answer that Alicia's goal, well, the free kick, has been the best of the season so far.
That is an absolute disgrace.
I feel like there's been a better one, but I can't think what.
It was some hit though.
It was good. It's alright.
That is an absolute that is an absolute disgrace to ignore Fabian Schär. I know it was the open day of the season, but it was also Fabian Schär with a lovely strike for a centre half.
Well, as a centre half, we'll just give it to him because we feel bad for him not getting it. Cause no, that's
Defenders
not how
should
it
get it.
works.
Yeah, it is. If a defender scores an overhead kick, it's much better than if a striker does it. 100%.
Nah, depends on the quality of the goal.
Nah, depends. Part of that's about who hits it.
I don't think that's ever a factor in goal of the season contenders.
So we sub note. He is a defender.
So you're saying if a keeper scored, the fact if a keeper scored, it wouldn't be up there just because a keeper scored.
No, it would be up there in terms of like the goal, but it maybe not up there in terms of quality.
Who won goal of the season last year?
No
I'm not
Salah.
even sure. Probably for a tap in.
Probably.
Can't mind the goal.
It would have been so much better if a defender had tapped in.
A defender has never won Premier League goal of the season.
Goal of
That's
the
pretty interesting.
season.
As far as I can see.
List of winners. Last season it was Mohamed
Oh,
Salah.
no, sorry, Maynard Figueroa won it in 2009, 2010, and I remember that goal. It's fabulous. It's a free kick.
Company got one in 18-19. The one against Leicester.
Did that win?
Apparently. It was a good hit.
The one I have as the winner in 18-19 is Andros Townsend against Man City.
This is the match of the day one. Or BBC.
I've gone for the proper Premier League one.
I've got Emre Can, he's a defender.
Nah, he was a midfielder at the time.
So that's fine. It's not as good now.
No, it wasn't as good a goal. He's a midfielder. I'm going to stand by this. Defenders scoring worldies is much better than normal players scoring worldies, always.
So that's a poll for next week then.
I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying, like, you were implying that his goal was better just because he was a defender, but I think the free kick was a much better hit.
No, he's better because Fabian Schär plays for Newcastle and Michael Olise plays for Crystal Palace. That's why the goal was better.
So it's really just bias.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. We're the consensual football podcast, and you're trying to bring in bias.
Says you with your big Rangers bias. It's on the running order again this week.
Yes, that's because I'm the only person who writes it.
I wrote it 1 week.
Right. Well, thanks, Kevin. Well, can't wait for next week. Well, I was going to say, to quote previous episodes, that's the whole thing, knacker. Well, just because Greg said it, let's go to Rangers. I thought it was interesting because it was linked to Bayern Munich as well. Tillman in an interview was asked whether his move would become permanent, and he said that firstly the discussion had to be between Rangers and Bayern. I think personally they should pay the money because he looks like a baller. He's starting to prove himself. Send back James Sands, sign Malik Tillman. I'm not sure how much actually.
Because I think that depends. Like, it depends on how much money it is.
Probably about 7 million or so. Just a guess.
I reckoned about 5, but he's never going to play
Dembele dollars.
Hey.
From what I've just googled, major hint was that it's either £5 million or €5 million.
Probably euros.
Hopefully euros and it's cheaper.
Well, not by much.
I know. The conversion rate these days.
They're putting a sell-on fee and all this garbage.
Yeah. I don't think £5 million is bad for him. He's a good player.
Well, definitely not.
He's been a slow burner, but I think he's slowly coming out now.
Right. So far this episode, I'm not going to lie, I've been trying to poke the bear a bit, but now I'm going to release the demon. VAR controversy. Greg has some strong opinions this week as we received the verbals in the chat. What you saying?
It's all a load of shit. I've gave up with it now. I've genuinely gave up with it. I have defended it for far too long, saying that it was absolutely fine. And then the whole Marcus Rashford incident at the weekend absolutely spoiled it all.
I mean, I personally thought that it shouldn't have been a goal. I don't think they should be allowed to interfere like that. It's happened on more than one occasion, and Man United fans were trying to claim for consistency, like if all these other goals can count, why can't that? But I don't think it should be allowed in general. He's in the way. The keeper can't see who's going to hit the ball because he's standing in the way.
Yeah.
Was this
Again, yes. If you remove Marcus Rashford from that situation, which what you're saying is if he's not interfering, he might as well not be there. If you physically Photoshop him out of that picture, either Ederson comes and clears it or the defender sweeps it up. But because Marcus Rashford is there, and if you listen to the Akanji interview as well, Akanji says, I stopped to play him onside. And if you watch the video, you can see it. Akanji moves up, physically moves, because Marcus Rashford is there. If Marcus Rashford is not interfering, then Akanji doesn't move up.
Exactly.
The assistant referee put his flag up to say Marcus Rashford was offside, and the referee said, they had the discussion, and it's because the way the rules are written, the rules are very specific. Football should be simple. The idea of football is you get a ball, you put it in a goal. It's a very simple game, but offside is now written in such a way it becomes impossible to be offside. Because you have to either actively touch the ball or actively interfere with an opponent, which apparently means touch an opponent. The whole thing's just a load of shit. To add to VAR controversy, including Manchester United, how Casemiro wasn't sent off against Crystal Palace, I have absolutely no idea because it's the clearest red card you've ever seen in your life.
I didn't see that one actually. I only saw highlights, but I didn't watch that bit.
I've never seen it either.
I also never seen the game. I seen it in the highlights. I was trying to find the Elise free kick. It was immediately before it. He gets a booking, and it's a clear red card.
He's a dirty bastard, that Casemiro, anyway.
But he'll continue to get away with it.
It's rigged. The whole thing's rigged.
Until the day that they do. I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids in that damn VAR.
Anyway.
I'll find a screenshot to prove my position. Carry on.
What? I'm
going to find a screenshot for Casemiro to prove my position. Carry on.
So we'll just move on.
Was still VAR we're talking about. Moving above the border. Sorry, to Scotland.
I've got a quick one. It was back on your transfer news. I noticed that Cantwell has been agreed.
Yeah. Well, they're still not signed. He's agreed, apparently.
So it's baby steps.
It's taken about 3 years for it to be processed.
It's only the 20th of January.
Oh, not much time. But right. Scottish controversy. Scottish League Cup. First of all, in the Kilmarnock and Celtic game, there's a penalty claim from Kilmarnock. Greg, you said it wasn't a penalty.
It's just not.
I thought it looked like a penalty.
I was.
No, I'm not. He has his arm around him.
You went in a bit too easy though.
That is, yeah, exactly my opinion. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, but would you not do the exact same if someone's arms were around you?
No, because if I could get the ball, I'd play the ball.
I don't know. I mean, I just thought that
they were also 1-0 down in a cup semi-final, and you're suggesting a player in his head might not think someone's arm's going to go round me, so I'm going to fall over and try and win a penalty. Because that's what it looked like to me. It looked like I'm 1-0 down. Someone's touched me slightly. I'm going to fall down and then moan when I don't get a penalty because that's the reason we've gone out and not because we were shit for the other 90 minutes.
Oh yeah, they were. I was just talking about that claim.
Yeah, it's not a penalty. They got that right.
Right, and then the Ryan Kent punch.
Which, yeah, it doesn't look great, does it?
I never seen. I've seen a screenshot. A still image. It looks like a punch, but I don't know. Videos do it justice.
Yeah, I don't think it's easy for the referee to see from where he is, and I don't think if that's the angle we're getting shown, if VAR don't have a better angle than that, they can't do anything about it because it's not conclusive. Which again, if we get rid of VAR, we won't have this debate because it won't be VAR should have fixed it. It would have been the referee should have seen it.
There's plenty of officials. So.
I just don't think if VAR has that angle, VAR can't do anything about it because it's not clear and obvious.
I think
I think
VAR's in Scotland's useless. It's not really done much use yet, has it? Or the Rangers penalty.
I think that they're using VAR just as an excuse to complain. Really, like is an easy blame. It was always going to take a bit of time to settle in. It's obviously still not settled in. But I think
it's not about not settling in. It's about they are now using it to re-referee the game. Referees are not making decisions because, like, if they don't give the penalty, VAR will clear it up for them. But actually, VAR's when the referee on the park said no, I don't have anything to overturn that, so it's no. When actually, if we had no VAR, the referee might change his mind. It's psychological for the referee. If you have VAR there, you can not give something in the hope they'll clear it up, but VAR will think you've not gave it, so therefore can't find anything to overturn the decision you've not made. And then we're getting into decisions like the penalty and like the Rashford offside, where again the referee they are trying to re-referee the game. Just stop.
The most important thing is taking part. It's the taking part that counts.
No, it's not.
Well,
that's all there is, really.
Someone didn't get any participation medals.
I've got one. I've got two. They're my pride and joy.
I've got one in trophy format.
I've got a wee dude and a wee cup.
I've got one that meant to look like the World Cup, but it's nothing like it.
I've got a runners-up medal as well.
I don't.
Get them in the bin while we're at
it. Chase yourself.
Exactly.
Never pride and joy.
It's right in the centre of the mantelpiece.
Can you not hear that noise? Kel's wearing them.
Always runners-up medals, which is basically an advertisement of I was slightly more shit than someone else.
Oh no, it was the best team in Dumfries. They were fucking dynamite. We had near right to be in a cup final.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't see that team play. Didn't have any right.
We had near right to be in a cup final.
And yet you still got a medal for it.
One of the reasons we got there is because we drew like the two worst teams below us.
But yeah,
the magic of the cup, my friend. This is at under 17 levels, just for some context behind the discussion.
I was actually.
And at under 17 levels, they didn't have VAR. If they had VAR, you never know. They might have re-refereed the game. Rover might have still not had to have moved out of the centre circle.
I don't think he refereed any of my under 17 games. Not my second season anyway.
I don't think they gave him under 17 games because of his inability to move, but you never heard that from me.
He did.
I thought it was good, Jeff.
Did it us v uppers.
How did that end?
The infamous game. With a certain scrap.
Oh, wait! That was the one game I nearly got in a fight with someone.
Yeah. That was the infamous game. The Kyle Derby, some would call it.
So for a bit of context, me and Kyle played in the same youth team. I will not name drop, but we were playing a team from a nearby town, and it was very fierce. We played them twice in a few weeks, didn't we not? Because one
twice in a weekend, pretty much, like one Sunday and the next Sunday.
Yeah, one was in the league and then one was in the cup. What was the cup one? The fierce one, the second one?
I think it was the first one.
Anyway, right, we're not on video, so you can't see my gesture, so I'm going to try and paint a mental picture here. So, we're on the pitch. I am in goals. Kyle's on the. I think you were left back, were you not?
Don't think I was playing when the penalty was given.
Oh no, the penalty. No, wait. Let's start off there. Yeah, I was jumping forward. Right. So the penalty. They got a penalty, which wasn't a penalty. They scored the penalty, but we were 1-0 up. So I did what I saw some professional goalkeepers do on the telly. I grabbed the ball and put it behind my back. Their striker shoved me, and then one of my defenders came in and pushed him, and then I pushed him, and it was a right free for all.
We scuffle.
Yes, referee.
I was telling a lie. I was left back. I remember coming on.
No, you were, because then in the because it was the same half. The ball is coming over the top and it's going towards Kyle, who's right on the edge of the line, right? And he's got a few players closing him down. So all he needed to do was just tap the ball out for a throw in, get it clear, regroup. So what does he do? Take a guess, Greg. Take a guess.
Tries to pass it back to you.
No, he hoofs the ball to next week over the fence, over a barn, into someone's garden. Their
It was
manager's
into
going.
the burn.
Oh, I thought it was in the garden.
I was over the hill.
Well,
Into
that's
the
even.
burn.
Well, I was too busy laughing. But their manager is screaming and bawling. What's he doing that for? And I even shouted over, "What you're talking to?" And then it doesn't really help me because 5 minutes later, Hale's made an overlapping run. He's been playing a through ball. He's trying to catch the ball that's heading towards the corner flag. Decides to slide in and slide tackle the corner flag, which then projects like a javelin in the opposite direction. So this is all in the first half. The second half unfolds. We win 3-2 thanks to an absolute screamer. And then at full time, everyone started shaking hands in the middle. And then they were calling us shit. And we were like, well, how can we be shit if we just beat you? But I was like walking up because I was in my goals. And then start scrapping. Oh, it was fierce.
I only refereed one scrap, shall we say. It involved the under 15 side of the same youth team that you were facing against a different under 15 youth team. And yes, there was also a scrap in that game that was dealt with by method of yellow card. Probably should have been a red, may I add, but I couldn't be arsed doing the paperwork.
I've had quite a history with that team. I remember once their manager tried to kind of thing where you stand in front of somebody to try and make them shit themselves, would jump at someone.
Yeah.
Did that to me once because I wasn't giving them back the ball for a throw in because I picked up and just ran right back to the goal. I just kind of looked at him.
I didn't like them.
Oh, Upper Annandale, whoops.
Their pitch was an absolute state. Twice I've been. I went
Fucking-
twice.
They're a state.
Trying to think. How many yellow cards did you get in your career? Youth
Me?
football. Yeah.
2, I think.
I got 3. 2. One week after the other. 2 of them were consecutive weeks. One was
for kicking the ball
for.
away.
Oh yeah, right. One was for kicking the ball away. And Greg, guess again. Why did I kick the ball away?
Kyle, because of Kyle,
Yeah. What did he do?
conceded a penalty.
Yes, you did. You were correct. So I booted the ball up in the air. It landed at my feet, and I've just caught it in my hands, handed it to the referee, and he fucking yellow carded me. And I was like, "Well, what's that for?" And he went, "For kicking the ball away." And I was like, "Well, it's right here."
I mean, it's more dissent, but it sounds more like dissent. But yeah,
What do you mean? But he'd already booked me.
yeah, but not like not for kicking the ball away. It sounds like you got booked for kicking the ball up in the air because you conceded a penalty.
Yeah.
So?
Well, what's the issue?
I did that once. I gave away a free kick, then booted the ball at the other end of the pitch, and the referee just kind of looked at me, and that was it.
No,
And that's the inconsistencies. Inconsistency of Scottish football.
You definitely would get a yellow card off me for that. Definitely.
Inconsistency. We need VAR in youth football.
It was halfway
We
line.
absolutely do not. I'll do the VAR in youth football. I'll just sit there and let the referee referee.
Greg on his portable DVD player.
Yes.
My only 2 yellows were for swearing and a bad tackle.
I never actually booked anyone for swearing.
No, mine were just for that, kicking the ball away. A half a man in player just outside the box. Like, absolutely. I panicked. It was like he was coming towards like the corner flag. I was coming out to get it. It was one of those long balls over. Should have just like put my left foot at, like lunge and like, knock the ball out of play, but I panicked and went with my right and absolutely clattered him. I can't find the footage because it was filmed, but and then I got booked for allegedly stepping out my box while I was kicking it out of my hands. And I can guarantee you that it didn't because you could see the stud marks.
I would also say they do that literally every week in professional football, and no one ever cares.
I got booked for
Jobsworth.
it.
All referees are Jobsworths.
No, they're not. I was not a job's worth.
Ooh, touchy.
You had to earn your yellow card off of me. Apart from one player who will remain nameless, who I'd refereed the week before and was a pain in the arse. So I decided to manage him that week. The first bad tackle he put in, he was getting a booker, and that shut him up that week, actually.
Russell Brown MP.
It's all
It's
about
making
game
it-
management.
It's making it sound like all these bad tackles are going in, and you're like, no, you've got to earn this. I don't give this away to anyone. You've got to earn my respect.
You've got to earn your yellow card off me, yes. Otherwise, you just
Not you,
don't
Russell.
donate
Not
a
you.
game. No, not you, Russell. You got warned. To be
Oh,
fair,
well.
to go back to said youth football team, they should the day the scrap happened, they should have got a red card because the scrap was initiated because someone tapped someone else on the while they were on the floor. If you know what I mean. The foul was made. The player who was still standing gave a little tap to the player on the floor's back with his boot, and he got a yellow card off me because I didn't feel it was worthy of a red, and it probably should have been.
Ah, well, it's a learning curve.
It is a learning curve.
Right. Let's
Yeah,
That was a
move
good
on.
trip down memory lane.
I
It
know,
was a
that could have
lovely
went on
trip in
after the
memory
connection.
lane.
I wish we were filming this week because I was waving my hands around like a daft there.
Oh, we can revisit it when we're a bit more famous.
Recreated scenes.
I'll recreate
I'll
snapping
get
the
my
corner
yellow
flag.
card out.
I can't wait for our live tour.
I can come to Cardiff.
We'll do episode 100 live from the Upper Annandale pitch.
Just all three of us sitting in the halfway line.
Oh, if it's
Stuck
the
because
halfway
the
line at
ball's
upper,
sticking
if
out.
it's the halfway line at uppers, I had to move it one week because of the pitch. In reality, should have called it off.
We'll just pick up the pitch and move it.
No, they had to take their centre kicks from about a couple of yards behind the halfway line because it was such a gutter mess. In reality, if that happens, just postpone the game. Good tip.
Actually, just
You
another game Uppers replayed.
You were just wanting the money.
Pretty much.
We had a cup final, as you know. It was like 2 weeks before we had a game against that team, and we had 8 players. They prepped for a cup final. I was captain.
That's a big moment in the career.
I was the fucking 7 players to pick for. I was the oldest, so
You're not really bigging yourself up here. Could have been, oh, you stepped forward as a courageous leader in the time of
did.
despair. I
Referee.
was the oldest.
Referee said captains, and I just went, fuck, I'm going.
Me boy sitting crying because he was meant to be captain.
Fuck him.
You'd probably drawn your armband on with Sharpie.
No, I used like black sock tape.
Anyway, moving on.
Right, yeah, let's move on. So this week we're bringing back some team selections. In the past we've done top 3 players we've seen live. We did top 11 players that haven't played at a World Cup. This week we're kind of taking a Masters football approach to it. We're picking a 5-a-side team of retired players, and whoever has the best team wins. We decided for a bit of variety that we were going to do different continents. So Greg is Africa, aren't you?
Yeah. Waka waka.
Why did he sound like one of the Muppets?
Waka waka.
Kale is
The Americas.
the Americas, so North and South, and I have went for Europe. So who wants to kick us off here?
I think Greg can.
I can kick off. So, do you want me to go through all of them, or will we do them one each?
Go through all of them.
Let's rattle through all of them. I've wrote some tidbits about them next to them. So my African five-a-side team, we have in goals, we have Vincent Onyema of Nigeria and formerly best known at Lille, has won the Africa Cup of Nations. Underrated, despite the fact he was under 6 foot for a goalkeeper, pretty good shot stopper. Also was penalty taker in his time at Hapoel Tel Aviv and scored 8 goals in 60 games over 2 seasons. My defender, who didn't actually start his career as a defender, was signed by Arsenal as a winger, is Lauren,
Formation
one of the
play?
Invincibles. I'm playing a 1-1-2.
Oh, attack heavy.
Yes, Lauren, Invincible, won the Africa Cup of Nations, won the Olympics, has a gold medal from that. Not a silver, because they're pointless. 2 Premier League titles and 4 FA Cup titles. Next, need a box-to-box midfielder for this African team, so it's obviously Yaya Toure, probably one of the world's best box-to-box midfielders, never mind Africa's best. Pops up with key goals when you need them, and another Africa Cup of Nations winner. The front
Didn't get a
two,
birthday cake.
also yes, someone provide him with a birthday cake so he stays on my side. Front two, we've got George Weah, or President George Weah currently, President of Liberia. African Player of the Century, the only African to have won the Ballon d'Or. Never played at the World Cup. And yeah, good for his just all-around attacking ability.
That was
As is my
recycled.
other all-around attacker is Big Samuel Eto'o, 108 goals and 144 Barcelona appearances. Again, played at the Olympics. And, it's Masters football, so we need someone with a walking stick celebration. And he averaged a goal every 3 games in his 30s at Chelsea. So that is my team. And I think it's a pretty good one.
See, if it was me, I'd have picked the man who's so good they named him twice. Gigi Okocha.
He was nearly there, but I couldn't ignore Samuel Eto'o and George Weah. Did he drop another on your honourable mention?
I don't know why I thought when you said name him twice, I thought of Eric Jemba even. I couldn't get the words out there. I just said Jemba 4 times.
Jimba.
Also, a shout
Eric
out.
Jemba. Sorry.
Other shout out to the wardrobe himself. Rest in peace, Papa Bouba Diop. You were close to making it. For your size alone.
I believe also you also have a kit you've picked, like from your continent.
We'll come
I do also have a kit.
I was going to come to that after. Yes,
we'll come to those at the end then.
So just
Who wants to move on?
For clarity, we have all picked a retro top as well. And it could be any team from that continent. So it could be a country or a club. And we'll choose a winner for that as well. But we'll stay with the teams first. Kel, do I go next or we go next?
Go if you want. I'm not bothered.
So, right, I picked some players, but some of them are dead. And I just thought retired. Oh well, right. So, first of all, in nets, I went for Lev Yashin. Don't have many stats, but regarded as one of the greatest keepers of all time. I believe he only played for who was it again?
CSK.
It was one of the Moscow teams, but I didn't want the Dynamo Moscow. He played.
Dynamo.
Yes, he made 326 appearances, and he played for the Soviet Union team 74 times. Regarded as one of the greatest keepers ever. I'm playing a 2-1-1 at the back. Franz Beckenbauer of Germany. I thought, one of the greatest. I think he was West Germany, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He played for West Germany 103 times. He made 560 career appearances, regarded as one of the best centre backs, and he will be playing alongside Mr. AC Milan, Paolo Maldini.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he needs that much of an introduction.
Nope.
regarded as one of the greatest ever centre backs. I've said that about 3 times. Played for AC Milan 647 times, in Italy 126 times. In the midfield, he had a skill move named after him, Johan Cruyff, the Dutch legend.
Nice.
Yes, I've got kind of legends in this as opposed to well, yeah, you know what? Doesn't matter. And then up front, Puskás of Hungary.
Great player.
So yeah, I think kind of more legends in that team. Obviously, the goal
Sorry.
awards named after him.
Just a side point about Puskás. One year we went for a Hampden stadium tour. It was me and my family, and there was this Hungarian guy here, and apparently he played in the same team as Puskás for Hungary.
Very nice. Do you know his name?
Yeah, but my dad beat me in a crossbar challenge, so
So
I
what you're
could-
saying that Don beat Puskás?
pretty much. My dad's won Champions Leagues and World Cups.
Donald
He's like-
Palmer.
Name drop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scotland legend.
He played right back for Rangers for a year.
Everyone has at some point.
Right, Kyle's turn.
Right, well, this is the Americas. In goals, I have the original sweeper keeper, Georgie Campos. 5'9", but he was quick as a button.
At least I don't have the smallest keeper.
Yeah, I'm sure he's 5'9". This is a 1-2-1. Kind of like a rotationary differ.
Mm.
Then in defence we have Mr. Roberto Carlos.
Good choice.
He
I thought he
does
was-
Choice.
Who is he from?
Brazil.
Oh yeah, wait, no, I was thinking North America. I forgot you're doing South as well.
This is I've done it different. I've done like one per nation. Everything's a bit interesting. Then midfield we've got Carlos Valderrama with the afro.
A bit of some style points in there.
The other midfielder is Mr. Clint Dempsey.
Oh,
Between
I
him
rate
and
that.
Donovan. I couldn't say between him and Donovan, but I thought Dempsey's more skillful. And it's 5-a-side, so you need skills. Then up front, as the captain of my team, is Mr. Diego Armando Maradona.
I thought that meant me coming.
Yeah.
Between him and Pele, but I thought, I think Maradona's better in my books, but God rest Pele's soul.
I'm Maradona's soul.
Pili Wally. Didn't turn out as well as I thought.
Yeah.
Bit insensitive. Let's keep going. Right.
Yeah, move on.
I think Kyle probably won that one in my opinion.
I think Kyle has probably the team that wins, unless we're actually playing this game, and then in that case I'm winning. If we're actually playing it, because all my team are alive.
Put Maradona in goals.
Have you seen that video? It's a funeral, and I think it is in South America. And there's goal post, and it's next to a coffin, and this boy volleys the ball off the coffin, and it goes in, and everybody starts celebrating.
I've not seen that.
Well, you need to see it. Last wee point, we said we've all picked a retro top. We can stick them on the Twitter and the Instagram because obviously we're only on audio at the minute. We're hoping to film next week, but we've been saying that for a few weeks. We're just still trying to work it out. But first of all, we can just talk through the kits and then upload them. Right, Greg, what did you go for?
Not very exciting in terms of design, but very exciting in terms of features. I have attached.
I knew you were going to do that.
Chat, I have attached the photo of one of my team, Mr. Samuel Eto'o, wearing the Cameron kit from AFCON 2002, the sleeveless one that FIFA wouldn't let them wear at the World Cup, because it's a sleeveless kit, and how can you do better than that?
So what was the actual reasoning for not being able to wear it?
Because FIFA are bastards. I think it was something to do with because the badge for the competition's meant to be on it. On the sleeve, and there's no sleeve to put them on it.
So it's just advertising, really.
That's terrible.
Right.
Yes. So they wore the same shirt with black sleeves.
I will upload mine next if I can find it.
You'll be able to see these on the socials.
Yes.
When it goes up.
I'm rolling back the years to 1988 when the Netherlands won their first major trophy. I think the only trophy since then. The 1988 home kit. I just thought aesthetically pleasing. It's a proper retro top.
I have it as a coaster, not a top.
Yes, you do.
I have that design as a coaster. I don't have a camera installed
That
as a
won't cover
coaster.
much.
So there's.
Yeah, so I went for that. I'd like to give an honourable mention actually to a kit. The Arsenal 1991 away kit. I rate it. I just think in terms of I was thinking like proper retro kits and that one because I thought I would get slated if I put a Rangers one because I really liked some of them. But yeah, I went for the Holland
Bias.
kit. No, I picked a different top.
You still pick something orange. Bias.
That's you having to change everything into something horrible. I would never condone
Yes.
sectarianism.
Yes, as you hate the Cameron top because it's green. It's bias.
I never said that.
You thought it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise you're a mind reader now.
For my kit, it's not retro, but it's from about 2014, 15 sort of time. I'm trying to send it. The Mexican away kit.
Nah,
That's pretty good.
looks like a pajama top.
Well, I liked it, so.
That is also true.
Oh well, it's a
You got a
opinion.
wee pair of cotton shorts to go along with it.
Yes, I do. Go
No,
fuck
I
yourself.
nerve here.
It's a opinion. I don't slag off your fucking choices.
I do.
I never said. I just made a point that it resembles
I'm
a top
deleting
that I probably would have worn to bed many years ago.
I'm deleting it. Go fuck yourself.
He's actually just deleted that photo. It's just gone. But you're gonna have to because I need to upload it.
Tough.
Right, it's fine. Wait, I'll find it on Google. Wait, Mexican
Pajama top.
Right.
Can I also say shout out to the backup Africa top, which is Kaiser Chiefs from 2019-20, because it's just like it's a lucid dream.
That looks like that one of them's accidentally put it through the shredder. And
So
like,
it's pretty hypnotic.
The boss is coming back. We need to stick it back together. Right, we're sailing on. Let's go to our predictions for this week, Greg.
Yes, predictions. Yes, last week we did absolutely shit, all of us. I managed to get a grand total of 2 points, as did Kyle, while Robert lags behind on 1. All did pretty badly. 2 games were called off, but even still, 2 out of 8 or 1 out of 8 is absolutely terrible. I managed to predict the scores of both Scottish Premiership games and everything else wrong after that. Robert's sole victory was predicting Albion's 4-0 win over Stranraer, and Kyle also predicted that Livingston would beat St Johnstone and that Airdrie would beat Kelty. No, Airdrie would draw with Kelty.
Wait,
Airdrie would draw with Kelty, my bad.
A wee update for the listeners. Kyle did not have to buy a Cove top, much to me and Greg's sadness.
Yes, much to our sadness, a Cove equaliser and added time, it meant it was only a draw. That takes the total scores for predictions up to Kyle lagging behind now after his early lead on 40 points, Robert on 42, and myself finally going into the lead on 43.
Cue Michael Van Gerwen.
Yes, if you've not seen that on Twitter, give it a like. Kyle's choice of games this week, and it is the Scottish Cup. So we have 5 Scottish Cup games, 3 Scottish League games, and 2 wildcards. We start in the Scottish Cup with Alloa Athletic versus Falkirk. Alloa beat FC Edinburgh on Saturday to move them only 3 points off Falkirk in second. Falkirk won the only meeting of these teams so far 3-1. What do we think?
Falkirk!
You went with Falkirk.
Now, I've went different. I went for an Alloa win based on Alloa's good home form usually.
I have also, like Mr. Adams, went for a Falkirk win.
Falkirk!
Second Scottish Cup game has a pitch inspection tomorrow morning. I've seen a picture of Elgin's ground yesterday and it was covered in snow. It's Elgin City versus Drumchapel United. Elgin are third in League Two, but at the top of the massive pile of teams below them and have failed to win their last two games. Drumchapel beat FC Edinburgh to get this far and are third in the West of Scotland League First Division.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
I've went Elgin.
you've won Elgin.
Yeah.
I've also went Elgin because it would be nice for Drumchapel to win, but I think they went a step too far. Goodbye.
I am now hoping this game gets postponed because I thought I'd pushed the boat out and I have picked Drumchapel to beat Elgin. They've beat FC Edinburgh so far, I don't see why they can't do it again.
You never know.
Never know.
They're not playing FC Edinburgh again. They're playing Elgin.
They are, who are in a lower league than FC Edinburgh.
Form, though.
Yeah, game three is Linlithgow Rose versus Wraith Rovers. Linlithgow had a good win over Spartans in the second round and beat Sochi Juniors in the third round, and are cruising to the East of Scotland League title as it stands. They only lost one game all season, and it was in August. Wraith are unbeaten in 5 games, but have had 4 draws in that time. What do we think?
I'm going Wraith Rovers.
I think it's going to be two. What was it? What I want? The divisions are going to show Wraith Rovers are going to win.
I have also went Wraith Rovers, so sorry, Linlithgow.
Shite.
Game number 4 in the Scottish Cup is Partick Thistle v Dunfermline. Partick's game was postponed on Saturday, but they're back up to 4th after a dip in form in November. Dunfermline are 7 points clear at the top of League One and are unbeaten in 11 in all competitions. They've lost once all season, and that was to Montrose.
Well, I feel like I'm going with the favourites, but I'm going for Dunfermline.
I mean, I would say that's an upset because Partick are a league above them, but
And at home.
Nah, but Dunfermline are on fire at the minute.
I went for a draw.
Well,
I won't go with the favourites then. I'm going Dunfermline.
Went for a draw.
I've also gone from Dunfermline, Robert. This next game is the last Scottish Cup game, St Mirren versus Dundee. No wins in 4 for St Mirren, who lost to Hearts on Saturday. Dundee's game was postponed again, and they are third in the championship at 5 points behind Queen Park in first.
I've went for a draw again. Don't know why, but I did these. I rushed these.
St Mirren.
I've also gone with come on St Mirren. Yes, that's the end of the Scottish Cup games. Scottish League one game for us this week. It's the battle at the bottom. Peterhead v Clyde. Peterhead have won once all season. Clyde have won twice. The only game they've played each other this season was in August, and it was a draw. I get to reiterate now we've got Clyde again in the predictions that there are still no wins for Jim Duffy as Clyde boss.
I think that Jim Duffy is going to be messaging you abuse because he's going to get his first win this weekend.
I think it says grab your pencils. It's a draw.
I've also went for a draw because I can't deal with Clyde winning a game. Into League 2, Stirling Albion v Forfar. Last 2 Stirling Albion games have been postponed, so they've not played a game this year yet. Forfar beat leaders Dumbarton last week. Every week. Forfar beat leaders Dumbarton last week. They now face the team in second and have won 4 of their last 5. They're 5th in the league despite having scored the fewest goals. Great work from Ray McKinnon in his short time in the job.
I have done a Stirling Albion win.
I've always regarded Falkirk as being not that good, so I'm going to go Stirling Albion as well.
I have also gone with Stirling Albion. Other game in League 2 is Annan v Bonnyrigg. Annan are now 2 without a winner in the middle of this tightening pack. Bonnyrigg won the only fixture played between them this season, but have only won 1 game in 5.
I'm going draw.
I went for the Galabankies.
I also went for a draw. 2 wildcards this week. So the first one is in La Liga, and it's Espanyol versus Real Betis. Shout out to Newcastle United legend Joselu, who scored as they beat Getafe, but have only won 3 times all season and drawn 8 times. They're in 14th. Betis are in patchy form. They can score or concede many and sit 6th.
I'm going Real Betis.
Make that 2 for Betis.
I've gone for a draw. And the last game is in Liga Portugal, and it's Pacos Ferreira versus Braga. Pacos Ferreira won their first game of the season, beating 10th place Rio Ave. Braga are in second, but could drop behind Porto into third. They have won 4 games on the bounce. Is it going to be 5?
Yes.
Yes.
When I go top of the league again, Braga.
Right. I am also going with Braga. That is the end of the predictions.
Thank you, Gregory. Once again, very nicely done. Good preparation, I can see.
Good work,
The
Shale.
new the Excel spreadsheet has been updated.
We will add that to the Twitter if he sends it to me, which he will. But yes, that concludes us for this week. Thank you very much. As I keep saying, we're going to hopefully try and record a video in format next week, but some technical difficulties have been a pain in our backsides this week. Hence
Hooky.
the late upload, so I apologise for that. But you know what? You're just going to have to deal with it. Shit happens. So, yeah, thank you very much for listening. We'll catch you again next time.
Back to normal next week, though.
Right.
I hope. Bye.
Bye.